So, Finn was zooming down the line. Finn wasted no time. The driver stoked more coal. "Come on, Finn," said the driver. "We've got to help Ryder. That bomb could go off any minute. I just hope we make it in time." The driver stoked more coal. Finn was zooming like a rocket. And in no time at all, they made it up the hill. So, the driver and fireman uncoupled Ryder from the trucks. Ryder was scared. "I hope someone gets here soon." Then, Finn puffed in. "Hang on, Ryder, I'm here." "Oh, Finn, am I glad to see you." "Yes, don't worry, my friend. I'm going to get you away from here." So, the driver coupled Finn up to Ryder. And slowly and carefully, Finn pulled Ryder away. And in no time at all, Ryder was pulled to safety. At the sheds, Finn was telling everyone how he saved Ryder. Even Thomas was impressed. "Well done, Finn," congratulated Thomas. "You're a hero. And we're holding out for a hero." Even Tad was amazed. "It's the first time I've ever met a hero," he said. Then suddenly, the engines got a nasty shock. From far away, they heard a loud explosion. It was coming all the way from the hills. All the engines got a fright. "Fizzling fireboxes," went Thomas. "What was that?" "I have no idea," went Tad. Then the engines heard more exploding. "Oh dear," said Duck. "It must have been those trucks." Then the Fat Controller arrived. The Fat Controller went running up to the shed. "It sounds like those trucks just exploded. Oh, Ryder, you were very lucky they didn't blow you up. Good thing Finn was there to help you." "Yes, I would have been a goner otherwise." And then, suddenly, the engines heard someone coming. It was Harold the helicopter. Harold zoomed down and spoke to the engines. "I saw the explosion," said Harold. "It was a horrible sight. There's a big fire up in the hills." "Oh dear," said the Fat Controller. "That means we're going to have to call Fiery Flynn." "Well, I'll see what I can do," said Harold, and Harold buzzed away. When Harold was gone, the Fat Controller got out his mobile number and called the fire brigade. Meanwhile, down at the fire station, Flynn the fire engine was happily snoozing. Then the alarm went off. Flynn woke up with a surprise. "Oh my goodness," he said. The fireman went running up to him. "Emergency, Flynn, emergency. There's a fire up in the hills. We better get going right away." "Yes, sir." So the fireman climbed into Flynn. Then Flynn got going at once. So, Flynn the fire engine was zooming down the line. Fiery Flynn to the rescue! Flynn the fire engine was excited. He couldn't wait to put out a fire. Everywhere Flynn went, he zoomed past. He zoomed past the old castle, and he zoomed past the farm. And in no time at all, Flynn made it to the mountains. The fire was very big, and then, in no time at all, it wasn't long till Fiery Flynn arrived. "Here I am. I've come to put the fire out." Flynn stopped. The fireman got to work at once. So, Flynn and the fireman began to spray the hose. Lots of water went all over the fire. And in no time at all, the fire was put out. "Job well done, Flynn," said the fireman. "Thank you. Fiery Flynn is always here to save the day." At the shed, Flynn had done a good job. The Fat Controller was proud of him. "Well done, Flynn. You're a really useful fire engine." "Just doing my job, sir." Even Thomas was impressed. "You're the greatest, Flynn." Then the Fat Controller went to talk to Ryder. "And Ryder, I'm very proud of you." "How come, sir? I didn't do anything." "Well, I know that, but you didn't get blown up in the explosion, and if it weren't for Finn, you wouldn't be here." "That's true." "And I saw how really hard you worked after all that, and I think you should be a credit to the railway." Ryder was delighted. "So does this mean I get to stay on Sodor?" "Of course, Ryder." Ryder was so happy. "And what about my brake van, Tad?" "Yes, and Tad. So you engines can work on the Great Western Railway." Ryder was so delighted. "Oh, thank you, sir." Ryder was the happiest engine on Sodor. So, Duck was happy to have more engines on his branch line. So, for the rest of the day, Finn and Ryder were very happy to be working on Duck's branch line. The other engines laughed and called it the Little Western. Duck was very happy to have friends like Finn and Ryder. And Ryder was very happy to be on the Fat Controller's railway. And as for Tad, Tad would always be a really useful brake van. And it will always be the Great Western Railway to the Great Western engines.